Pick Brothers.
Yeah.
Years and years and years of people asking me, why don't you get a gazebo? Well, we're set up with a dry washer under a nice gazebo to keep us out of the hot, brutal Australian summer sun. And we're going to collect 12 to 13 wheelbarrows of pay dirt from erosion gutters that have yielded some good gold in the past. Nana! It's going to be a hot day, eh?
Ooh, spicy.
It's maximum spice. It's a nice pocket. Put your pick in it. Look at the gravel every time we... Oh!
What's
and the
that?
bedrock! This base has given us so much nice gold too. And I've never seen anything look that good in terms of dirt. This gutter here that snakes all the way down the hill to where we're digging has given us like 50 plus pieces every single pan we take out of there. Because it's the first flat spot that this erosion gutter feeds onto, theoretically, this is where all the gold should be accumulating. Spotting gold through cream coloured dirt is always great. That is a reasonable amount of black sand, but
Yeah, let's go.
yeah, it's very fine. Very, very fine. All that tells us is that there is definitely gold at the bottom of that trench, and that is fantastic news. That is what 2 wheelbarrows worth of dirt looks like. We're hoping to get 10 more. Use your shovel like a broom. It's just as good, slightly louder.
Remember to always drink water when you're out in the sun.
No, only iced coffee. It's what plants crave. Senior sweathead. This will be our 6th wheelbarrow. That's 50% of a cubic meter, and we haven't even left this bottom flat deposit and touched the gully. I think the next 6 better come from the gully.
Yeah, the gully.
We have the return of the gold nonna. She's fresh from the apocalypse. And before I put my respirator on, a dry washer uses 3 things to separate gold from pay dirt. Inside that little box right there is a riffle tray facing backwards. So the riffles face the opposite way they would in a sluice box. And we use vibration, air pressure, and static electricity to collect the gold.
Power, Gadsy, power! Yeah!
These things are... dry washers are really fast at processing dirt, so we're going to blow through this pile in probably the same amount of time it took us to dig 1 or 2 wheelbarrows. It took like 20 minutes to run, which is pretty quick considering, you know, 6 wheelbarrows worth of dirt. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of gold. We're going to use the Garrett pan that we had our test pan in earlier as our collection pan for all the runs that we do today. I'm going to try to pan off a little bit into it. I don't think it's really going to work. This is not professional panning, by the way. This is just me tipping it in there over the riffles and hoping that maybe, maybe. Hey, there's gold in that dirt. There's some. It's freaking fine too. Look at that. How much blood have you lost today? Because I've lost quite a bit.
Well, marshflow keeps on hitting me on the same spot.
Oh, look at that. It's exactly the same spot. Oh, that's a tasty bit.
On my nonna blood.
Can I have a lick?
No.
The marsh flies have been absolutely horrific today. One nailed me through my glove. My hand's already starting to swell up. Another one got me through my shirt and my arm feels like it's on fire. Gazzy's losing blood left, right and center. The gold, this is cursed gold. This is the top of the same erosion gully, and we pulled out really nice gold in this V here. And then we left this section for whatever reason, and we started finding really good gold down here. I need my land shaver. Yeah. All right, Mr. Pay Streak, it's just you, me, and my pick. The majestic Gadsy arrives. It's now full midday sun, and it's hot. It's really hot. So this is going to be a struggle. I don't know if we're going to get our 6 wheelbarrows done, but we'll do our best. I don't think we're going to get that magic 6-barrow run, eh? I know there's a lot of guys out there that work in the heat, and I have mad respect for you, but this is brutal. It's very hard to explain Australian heat, having traveled somewhat around the world and experiencing it in other places. We don't have an ozone layer above Australia, and the intensity is so much more. I am going to push myself a little bit though, because I do want to get a decent gold take. That is our 9th wheelbarrow in total, and we're probably going to get just enough dirt to get our 10th wheelbarrow. We're going to get 11. We prepped more dirt than we thought. We ran out of petrol. We ran out of petrol just as I was rerunning the tailings. We're rerunning them because when you do that, sometimes you collect a little bit more gold. So the box is kind of full, and I've been sweeping it out for a while. We are very tired. Let's pack up. Air conditioning. Air conditioning. It's like #1 in Australia thing to have. It has been about 2 weeks since Gadsy and I came out here and ran 11 wheelbarrows of pay dirt through the dry washer, and in that time we've learnt that we had the settings for the dry washer not quite right. The only conclusion we can draw is that there is a lot of gold in that dirt down there. We've come back with these brand new dry washer settings thanks to a lot of very skilled professionals over in America, and we are going to rerun these tailings and hopefully recover a bunch of golds. I realize I have a flathead shovel, which is just slightly more efficient at moving this dirt into a pile than a pick. That is one magnificent pile of pay dirt. There's 2 main changes that we've made. That is that this is on 50% throttle and not like 80. We also make sure that no tailings get in on top of this pipe. The machine itself is now much more level, meaning the run isn't as steep. Slightly slower processing power for way better gold recovery. Got to do a wee bit of refueling, but we have shifted most of that pile. I'd say we are probably 3/4 of the way through it. The changes have made this machine really comfortable to use. It's a very constant pace. Not manic, but you have to keep up with it. Ooh, hey, that looks all right. That looks good. Tools of the trade.
Thank you, sir.
I hope we see more gold. I really hope we see more gold. Our tests from the last time we were out show that we probably should, but there's never any guarantees in this game. Yeah. Tell me, Mick, is it heavy?
200 ounces.
Oh, we got way more black sand. That's the most black sand we've seen in this.
And there's gold there.
Oh, yeah. All right. It's a pretty rare day that I do a shout out, but I wanted to mention that we got our tips for dry washing from Alan's Gold Mining. That was the first one I went to. And the second one was I Break for Bedrock. Both channels full of amazing information. Dry panning is really inefficient. It has about a 70% loss rate, but we're just going to dry pan this into here, put a little bit of water in it and see what we find and get eaten by March flies. Whatever gold we see in here, you can assume that we lost at best 70% of the gold. Oh, ooh, that was through dry panning. That's about as much gold as we pulled out in the first run that Gadsy and I did. Oh yeah. After getting home off those incredibly hot, dusty gold fields, I've separated out what Gadsy and I did and what Mick and I did from the same pile. And you are not going to believe these results. This is what Gadsy and I managed to pull out of the 11 wheelbarrows of pay dirt that we collected in the stupidly hot weather. A little bit there. That's not so bad. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And this is the gold Mick and I pulled out of the same pile that had already run through that dry washer. Same machine, different settings. Yeah, I'd say that's a difference. I'm happy we went back and reran that. Right before we weigh up the gold that Gadsy and I Pick Brothers. Yeah. And then Mick and I
200 ounces.
recovered from that pile of pay dirt, I wanted to say that you should always be humble enough to learn new things. Without learning those new settings for the dry washer, we wouldn't have recovered anywhere near the amount of gold we're about to weigh up. And the other thing is, this was some of the most dangerous prospecting I've ever done. We were well over 85% humidity in almost 40 degrees centigrade temperatures. That kind of weather here in Australia legitimately kills people every single year. This is all the gold we managed to recover from the drift mines using our dry washer. That is looking like a pretty good line of gold, even though there is still a little bit of black sand in it. My guess is going to be just under a gram. Let's say 0.82. What's your guess? Leave it in the comments below. $1.24? Alright. Let's call it 1.1 grams of gold just because there is some black sand in it. Which would make 1.1 grams of gold worth around 91 Australian dollars at the time of recording. Thank you so much for watching. Please give your dog a big scratch behind the ears for me. Push! And I'm out.